Guys, it's Breaking Brian back with another Last of Us review. So, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really love this episode. I'll tell you about it. But yeah, let's get started. So, at the beginning of the episode, we have a flashback to 2018, the Seattle quarantine zone, and we see a bunch of Fetra soldiers. And this part was actually kind of crazy. They're just kind of arguing about which show is better, Drake and Josh or iCarly, because this is actually Josh Peck, which is just so crazy. I knew it was him. I had to look at the credits and I'm like, oh my goodness, it is. So yeah, a bunch of guys here are laughing because, like I said, because Josh Peck is telling them how Drake and Josh is better. No, I'm kidding. He's just basically mentioning the Seraphites and the civilians that they oppress, all that stuff about how they call them voters, which is ironic because they can't vote. These are Fetra soldiers and all that. They're just corrupt and stuff. And then we see Isaac Dixon, I believe. I believe that's his full name. And yeah, he's just not happy about it, how they're talking. And he's like, yeah, they're called voters because we take their rights, we abuse them, and all that stuff. And he kind of mentions he's disappointed with his squad and all that. They're entering a neighborhood because I don't know, there's something going on. And he kind of mentioned how he was ashamed of them and all that stuff. I think it's crazy that they got Josh Peck to be in The Last of Us. That's crazy. So yeah, they stop the car that they're in, and Isaac mentions that he's going to go by himself. Isaac tells them that he's just going to go on his own. They're not going to go full force. I mean, come on, why would you need to go full force unless it's like a herd of infected? Like seriously, there's like a dozen of you guys. You have guns. Like seriously. So Isaac exits the car, and yeah, one guy even said it's your funeral or something. It's like, it doesn't make any sense because look, you see a bunch of unarmed civilians. Not that many. Not this crowd. It's not exactly high budget. I'll be honest with you, but yeah. Isaac actually calls one of the younger guys to come with him outside. He said to learn something and all that, because he wasn't as much laughing with the others. He might have been a little bit, but not as much. And I was definitely curious on what's going on. And yes, Josh is very suspicious because he's like, does he like iCarly more than Drake and Josh too? Yeah, because Isaac is a iCarly fan. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. So Isaac is talking to these civilians, and good lord, like that guy, short woman, tall guy, like seriously, that guy must be like 7 foot or something. Like, good lord, it's crazy. So yeah, and then the guy in the back's pointing the gun at her. Whatever. Isaac is talking to her, and she's like, "You're Isaac." So they kind of are talking, introduce themselves. We don't really know what the situation is here in this scene. You know what I mean? They just kind of introduce themselves first, and Isaac finds out who she is, and then Isaac just leaves. He walks away. He goes back to the armored car where the other Fedra soldiers are, and he pulls out his pin grenade. Just pulls it out and tosses it in, giving him a big old surprise, and he locks the door. He locks the door, blowing them all the heck up, which I was surprised by this. Like, I'll admit, that was kind of shocking. That was kind of a cool scene. I don't think we know the guy's name, but the young guy who's with him is just honestly shocked. And then the driver even comes out, and he is dazed, he is hurt, and Isaac kills him too. And this guy is beyond shocked. I mean, his face, like, he's just like, oh my gosh, kind of thing. And then Isaac shakes hands with the lady, and she's like, welcome to the fight and all that. So I guess these are the beginning of the WLF and all that. And yeah, so this guy is just beyond shocked. He's like, man, you just blew my mind and all those guys to pieces. And Isaac's kind of like, hey, man, you got to make your choice. What side are you on? And, I'm kind of like, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, dude, this guy, dude, don't go against Isaac. He's got a plot armor. We know he's alive, so just say you'll go with him. And then, yeah, we get the intro scene with The Last of Us, the typical. I'm really surprised they didn't add Dina to the part with Ellie here, the figure here. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. So yeah, it's The Last of Us. That's cool and all that. Then after the intro, we get Dina, who is going through a hole in the wall, and says 11 years later, the time frame. We're in present time. I don't think they needed to say it was 11 years. We're not that stupid. Like, come on, HBO. We knew it was a flashback. We know what the time is. You showed us New Year's. 2029. So we're not stupid. But yeah, Dina is looking around the pharmacy for any supplies. She's not really finding much. It's mostly cleared out. But then she finds something, and I knew what it was. I knew it was going to be a pregnancy tester. So yeah, afterwards, Dina goes outside, and they need to resume their journey to find Abby and all that stuff. After what happened last episode, because they need to find a way into the city from the bridge. So yeah, they're traveling around the city, and I like that we get to see a buggy here. When I was a kid, I used to love buggies. It was just, I don't know. It was, I thought it was a cute car. Anyways, they're traveling around the city and the overgrowth and all that. Man, it's so fantastic. It's well done. Really enjoy it. But then, what something I didn't enjoy was this, heart rainbow on the side of a building. I kind of feel like doesn't make sense. I mean, this was back in 2003. I don't think there was a lot of LGBT stuff going on. It's in Seattle. Like, I don't think that's how Seattle was. But yeah, I just want to mention that. So yeah, Ellie gets on top of a tank, overgrown tank to find some ammo, and they kind of notice like, yeah, WLF bodies, Fedra bodies, things went down. Surprised no one burned the bodies or whatever, but yeah. So Ellie slams the thing down and made a whole bunch of noise, but luckily no one heard them. And then Dina looks in their binoculars, and then she sees the WLF satellite station that Manny was in at the end of last episode, and Ellie wants to go in charging, but Dina kind of mentions how the people in tower will see them from far away, so they should wait until nightfall and go up, cut through the stores and stuff instead of going straight through. So they do that. They get shimmered in the store. They're in this music store, and yeah, it's just I believe it's just like in the actual game too. So that's pretty interesting. They really are following the game pretty faithfully. Although I seriously wonder what they're going to do about the whole Tommy situation and Abby too, because like yeah, like where's Tommy? Where's Abby? I don't know. So yeah, Ellie comes to the second story and she comes across a guitar, and she opens it up, and yeah, the guitar is still nice and pristine and all that, and Ellie even smells like what were they, like mothball bags or something? Like I believe it's to preserve the inside, keep bugs from like deteriorating and chewing on like wood and stuff. I believe that's what it is. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, the guitar is really good. I guess it's been tuned as well. Like, it's probably outdated. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, Dina kind of hears Ellie sing "Take on Me," which Joel used to sing. And I'll admit, Bella Ramsey did a good job here. Even if Bella cannot act, she's pretty. She's a pretty good singer, and you know what I mean, a guitarist too. So I gotta give it to Bella in this scene. I think she did a really well done job here, just like Game Ellie. And yeah, I commend her for that. I definitely think that she, delivered in this scene. And then Dina comes in, she's kind of in tears and saying like, "Oh, that was awesome! Like, you're really good." And then she meant, Ellie kind of mentions how Joel taught her how to play guitar, and she's like, "Wow, he taught you well." And he's like, "Yeah, he did. He did." So Ellie is kind of just, remembering the memories with Joel and all that stuff. So elsewhere, far away, we see a guy turning an oven, and yeah, we see that it is Isaac. I mean, to be fair, I knew it was Isaac. I mean, the trailers, all that stuff, and I know exactly what he was doing. He was talking to someone. We don't get to see who it is, but he's just talking to someone about how when he was younger, he used to be shy around girls, not know how to talk to them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exactly me. Like, I mean, not to torturing someone to death, but like, yeah, definitely the how do you talk to freaking girls, because it's like the most stressful thing on the planet. Like, yeah, it really is. And he also mentions how he never could afford nice copper pots, but he always like admired them and all that stuff. And he kind of mentions how copper conducts better than other metals, but yeah, that kind of thing, because it's for electrical stuff. So yeah, he is heating up a pot, and then we see that Isaac is torturing a guy, a Seraphite, a Scar, and he's beaten up. The guy is, he's praying to his prophet, the woman that the Seraphites, kind of worship, think is magic. At least some of them, and even Isaac even mentions that the prophet's not magic, like she's a person. Even lots of Seraphites believe that too. And then we outside of the kitchen, we see a young guy who's just kind of traumatized by the whole thing. He's like, "This is just sick. It's wrong." And some guy tells him to be quiet. And then we see that the poor guy, the Seraphite, had his hand burned, and yeah, it's pretty bad. This is pretty nasty, you know. And he's saying the same thing again and again. Isaac, he's interrogating the guy. He's asking for plans. What is the Seraphites' attack plan? Where are they attacking next? All that stuff. And I'm like, dude, Isaac, you're not gonna get anything out of him. Like, this guy is broken so much, he's literally just ready to die. Like, you can't do anything against him. And even mentions that we attacked you guys because you attacked us. And then he says that, what about that time you killed our kids? And then he says, you killed our kids, and revenge and revenge. Isaac even mentions that, like the cycle of revenge. Um, how like it's us and you kind of thing. But it's like, dude, Isaac, like there was a kid murdered last episode, a Seraphite. Like, that was on you guys, the WLF. Like, killing their kids is not justified. Neither is them killing your kids. It's not. Like, neither side is justified. You both are horrible people. And some people are innocent mixed in. So it's just how it is. It's how life is. As an adult, you should realize that and realize you're a monster. But whatever. And this guy's even ready to have his hand burned again. And this guy, Isaac, has lost his patience, and he just executes the Seraphite, killing him once and for all. And we see the young guy is pretty horrified by it. But then we see the guy from the beginning that was with Isaac from 11 years ago, the survivor from the squad that Isaac killed. And he looks so dead. And he's kind of like, that monster got what he deserved. And it's like, dude, come on. You really, like, couldn't, like, just not be so broken. Like, dude, this guy's broken. He is dead. Like, seriously. Uh, like, he looks like he's, like, never had a life after that. Like, so depressed. Anyway, at nighttime, we see Ellie and Dina. They are going to the radio station. They are inside. And, they sneak in, the radio station, and, they're looking through their flashlights, and then they see a body in the hallway. They see a WLF that has been killed, shot with a bunch of arrows. Just like in the game, this was pretty much exactly like in the game. But I'm not sure how a Seraphite would shoot multiple arrows in one person. Like, wouldn't one arrow have killed the guy? And this is just hitting him a bunch of times afterwards. Like, I don't know. You can't shoot multiple arrows at someone. Like, that's not how it works. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, they come across another room, and good lord, they see a bunch of WLF that have been hanged and gutted. This is crazy. I wish The Walking Dead had something like this. They were even tied with barbed wire. So yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Ellie is pretty horrified, so is Dina. Dina is so horrified, she pukes again. Like, the amount of puking that she's been doing, like, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we know why she's puking. I know exactly why, but yeah, it's just, it's pretty nasty. It's pretty gnarly, and then we, Ellie and Dina hear on the radio about how the WLF are coming, and Ellie and Dina hide because more soldiers come in, the reinforcements, who were not able to make it on time for their people. And this guy kind of mentions how it's screwed up that what the Seraphites did. And I admit, I agree. But he kind of mentions that kill anything that moves. We're not taking any prisoners. We're killing them after what they did, even a baby if we have to. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Ellie, I hope you kill this guy. Because I'm like, dude, I don't care if your friends were horribly murdered, whatever. Like, the fact that you would say, oh, like, if they have a baby, we'll kill that as payback. It's like, dude, you deserve a brutal death for saying that. That is not something you kid around with. So yeah, Dina's hiding, and Ellie goes up on the walkway. And she is hiding, and then a soldier follows her. Ellie tries to escape, but it doesn't work. So Ellie tackles the guy. Not sure why she doesn't, like, immediately stab him in the neck when she tackled him. Like, Ellie, I kind of feel like that was a fault of your own. Anyway, whatever. She tackled him, and they are fighting. She headlocks him, and a soldier comes in, and Ellie was smart to use the guy as a shield, but then Dina actually shoots the guy dead, and Ellie finally takes the knife and stabs the guy, fully killing him. And yeah, I mean, I have to admit, yeah, that's 2 more WLF down. That's 2 more killed. I believe in this part of the game, like, a whole bunch of WLF were killed by the Seraphites and Ellie and Dina. Just like Nick and his guys. Shimmer was dead too, but they're not doing that as much in this version, which I do like. I guess they are making it a little more realistic, and so yeah, they have to escape. Ellie and Dina leave, obviously, and they are going through the rain. There was a locked gate, so they go through this other door, but it is also blocked, but they are able to crawl through underneath. So that's really interesting. They're able to fit, whereas the others aren't. I like how the size is important here, because Dina and Ellie are very small, despite the fact that they're both like 19. And yeah, they come across the subway station, and they need to get moving and all that stuff. But unfortunately, it's somehow too late. Like, somehow even though they just got here, somehow the WLF also make it. And also, like, Dina also, I believe she hears an infected too. So they hide, and we see the WLF putting flares. This is just like in the actual game, except obviously it's not as many infected or WLF. And yeah, so Ellie and Dina hide, and they begin, WLF begin looking for them. And not only that, but the infected, they hit a flare and one of the fungus, so the fungus kind of alerts an entire herd that there's people around here. So yeah, they're looking around, and it is kind of a tense moment because as Ellie and Dina are hiding, Dina is counting down the number of different infected that she's hearing, and she kind of she's just keeping quiet. And um, afterwards, she definitely hits like 5 or 6 or so, and then eventually it's chaos because the herd comes in and they attack the WLF. They kill them all, and I mean all. Like Dina and Ellie, they make a run for it, and they start running on top of the train, which is pretty cool. I believe that was from the actual game, but I'm not sure. But it was really cool. So yeah, I really like this. I like how the train is overturned and Ellie and Dina are just going through it. It's just really well done. The bodies, the skeletons, it's really creepy. The fact that the zombies are pushing against the train, shaking it, breaking some glass. Ellie and Dina have to just keep shooting. They have to go through the tubes between the trains. It's just really well done. I really enjoyed this. This was fantastic choreography, fantastic action. Like, definitely the best scene in the entire episode. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And, the clicker comes in. Like, it's just really well done. Like, I have to commend them. This was definitely the best scene of the episode. And it definitely keeps the episode from being absolutely terrible. Because, like I said, I just think this episode had a lot of problems with it. And one of them is, I'll get to it soon. But yeah, Dina and Ellie, despite the fact that they keep going through again and again with the trains, they're running out of trains, and the infected, they keep breaking through. They're not going to make it. There's too much infected that have broken the glass, and they are starting to come in. They're, running out of space. And, Ellie is shooting her gun. Dina actually opens an emergency hatch to get through, and she is able to rescue Ellie too, which, I don't know, it kind of looked like she really pulled up Ellie fast. That, small nitpick there. But yeah, she's able to save Ellie, and they're able to get out of that. And it's just honestly like crazy. That was, like I said, it was a really well done scene. They jump down from the train, and they start going through the gate. They actually climb over the fence, and they have another barrier against the infected, and the infected start bashing against the fence too. They start trying to break through, just like in the actual game, I believe. I love how faithful that they're being to the actual source material. And yeah, they're just making a run for it. It's very fast paced, action, the adrenaline. It's very well done, I will admit. And the infected are breaking through, but unfortunately, Ellie and Dina come across this turnstile thing, and it's really rusty. It doesn't really go much, and I thought we might be having a Walking Dead situation here. I don't know, maybe I kind of thought that. So an infected is able to catch up to Dina, and actually is about to bite her, but actually Ellie, I don't know if she was trying to push her out of the way, but the infected. But yeah, Ellie takes the bite of the infected. I'm surprised Ellie was not screaming more. I'm surprised the zombie didn't literally tear flesh off of Ellie, because it only lightly bit her. The zombies break through the fence, and in the game, this was the spores, obviously. The masks broke, but instead Ellie just gets bit again for the third time. The zombies get stuck in the turnstile, and Ellie kind of mentions to Dina they have to keep moving, and Dina is just she's just shocked that Ellie got bit. She's not really running as fast as her, all that stuff, and she's kind of falling behind again, just still shocked at the fact that Ellie got bit and all that. And afterwards, yeah, Dina is just beyond shocked because Ellie doesn't pay much mind that she got bit. Obviously, we know she's immune, but Dina doesn't know that, and we know that. But still, it's you think Dina would just be like, Ellie, stop, you're bit or something. So yeah, they come across the theater place just like in the actual game, and they barricade, they hold up, and it's clear from infected just like in the actual game. And just but unlike the game though, Dina points her gun at Ellie because she ate their last peanut butter bar. No, I'm kidding. It's because obviously, like I said, she got bit, and she's like, Ellie, you're gonna die now. You're gonna turn. I have to shoot you. Why do people think this is how infection works? You don't just get bit. I get that she doesn't know Ellie's immune, but why does she think Ellie just got bit and she's gonna turn any second? I don't think zombie bites work like that ever. You know what I mean? I mean, I assume Dina has seen it before. Yeah, Ellie is just basically like, Dina, please don't shoot me. Um, she kind of dances around it, but she eventually confirms to her that she's immune. But unlike in the actual game, Dina doesn't really believe it. She is just beyond shocked and kind of in denial about the whole thing, which, I mean, I get it, but Ellie did a terrible job of explaining it. Like, Ellie could have at least, like, showed her arm and then her stomach and then been like, I've been bit twice before. I swear, remember the supermarket from, months back? I was bit, you know? And like, I really feel like Ellie should have explained to Dina a lot more how she was immune, because she really didn't. So yeah, a couple hours pass and Ellie is, sleeping on the couch and all that, on a chair, and then Water wakes her up, and she's kind of scared because it's like an interrogation scene. They don't even show Dina's face. It's almost like Dina, are you okay? And Dina is like that intense police officer that's like, yeah, yeah, I'm okay. So you twitching a little, Ellie? You feeling twitchy? It's just, I don't know. I just think like Dina is just. I think it's hilarious that we don't see Dina's face, because if I did, I would not be intimidated at all in the scene, because yeah, Dina is not intimidating. So Ellie removes the bandage that she was keeping for her arm, and the bite hasn't changed at all, even though it's been hours. There's no fungus that's growing with it, and she kind of shows it to Dina, and then Dina, like some kind of horror movie villain, she takes the lantern that she has, and then she just like slowly raises it, and then she slowly like goes towards Ellie, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, Dina, you have eyes, you can see. It's just, I don't know, I just find that absolutely, I don't know, this part kind of got to me. It was just kind of like, okay, they're really dragging this out. They are really dragging out this bite thing. Um, unnecessarily. And Dina drops the bombshell that, okay, so not only obviously she knows Ellie's immune now, seemingly, but she drops the bombshell that she is pregnant, just like in the actual game. And to be fair, I didn't expect that. I was hoping Dina would say, like, hey, how's this possible? How are you immune? Like, I have questions, like, but no, she just tells Ellie that she is pregnant, and Ellie is very shocked. Um, yeah, considering the fact that she's a virgin. So yeah, I don't know. Ellie, I'm referring to, but yeah, I'm kidding. No, that wasn't it. But yeah. So then we get, well, in my opinion, probably the worst scene of the entire episode. Dina just literally falls into Ellie's arms, and they make out and start doing stuff. And this is, in my opinion, was really stupid. Like, it just came out of nowhere. You just found out she's immune. You just found out she's pregnant, and you're like, yeah, let's do that. It just really came off out of nowhere, and I definitely think it had no place. It just felt sudden. It just didn't make sense to me. So yeah, they're eating beef jerky, and Ellie is kind of mentioning to Dina how she was immune, finally telling her, and the whole chemical burn thing, it actually wasn't 100% a burn, just the tattoos and all that stuff. And Dina kind of mentions to Ellie how she definitely is 100% bisexual. She was with Jesse and all that, and it's just like, it's kind of over now. The stuff with her mom. This scene was actually a little bit funny because Dina kind of gives Ellie the pregnancy tester, and she's like, "Yep, I was pregnant. I had to pee on it, and it said, I'm positive for pregnancy." And then she says, "And this test too, and then this test, and this test." And Ellie's like, "I'm gonna be a dad," and it's like, Ellie, what gender are you? Like, I am so confused. Like, pick a lane. What are you? I'm sorry. It's just so confusing. It's the whole drama thing between Jesse and Dina and Ellie. It's like, yeah, this is going to be pretty awkward when they get back to Jackson. So yeah, Dina and Ellie hear on the radio how the Seraphites and WLF are fighting, and they mention a lot of injuries. So they're like, get Nora. And they're like, Nora, that was one of the people that was there when Abby killed Joel. So they run to the rooftop, and I'll admit, this part was good. And seeing the cityscape, although there was a part, and I do like how Dina is trying to use her brains to figure out where they are and all that stuff. And but like, one thing is, she's like, Ellie, that white building, that's where we have to go, or something like that. And I'm like, what white building? I didn't see a white building. Like, I just see the smoke and stuff. I think that's Dina. I think that's pretty good so far. So yeah, and then this part I don't really like, because Ellie kind of mentioned she's gonna go off, and Dina's like, no, I gotta go with you. And I'm like, okay, at least with the game, Ellie's like, no, you can't come with me anymore. You're pregnant. Are you crazy? Like, whereas in the in the show, it looks like Dina is gonna stick with Ellie for the rest of the journey, and also it's day 2 in Seattle, so yeah, they hold hands and just look out kind of thing, and just I don't know, like I just don't know how I feel about that, Dina going with Ellie. So yeah, after that the episode ends, and I just like, don't get me wrong, the train scene definitely saved this episode, but it had a lot of problems. One is the romance. I just think they poorly did it. It was rushed. It didn't make sense. Um, especially in the dire situations. So, anyways, next episode we have Dina and Ellie going through the city. Dina is talking to Ellie, and we have the WLF in the new base. They're getting ready for more attacks with the Seraphites for control of Seattle, all that stuff. And Dina and Ellie are trapped in some building, and there's a bunch of infected. And yeah, obviously they're gonna have to fight in a lot of infected. I'm assuming that with Dina's pregnancy, it's just going to be too much, and she's going to have to go somewhere else, because this is not like the actual game. We see a WLF guy being hanged by Seraphites, probably justice for what they did earlier, or whatever. And then we have an officer asking a woman soldier about like what happened, down there, about you losing your people, your men. And then we get to see a cute dog. So yes, oh my goodness, if this dog dies, I will riot. Okay, don't you dare. So then we see a woman running in a hospital. Is this the Nora scene? Are they already doing Ellie versus Nora? That would be crazy, because we see Nora falling down an elevator shaft and she's about to like die. The elevator's falling. So I really just don't know what's going on. I really wonder if this is already Ellie versus Nora. That would be crazy if they just did it already. That would just be insane. So we see Ellie down in some weird basement or something, and there's fungus everywhere. Like, it looks nasty, disgusting. And the woman in the voiceover kind of mentions about how she lost her people, and that the stuff was everywhere. What they found, and it looks like Ellie is pulling some kind of switch to open the door or something. And the woman, I believe she mentioned it's in the air. And we finally get to see spores, because this wasn't in season 1. It looks like spores are going to be a thing now in season 2, because this infected is shooting out spores from its mouth. So yeah, that's the end of the teaser for next time. So even though I didn't like this episode as much as episode 3, I really love the train scene, and I can't wait for episode 5. And also, I wonder where Abby is. Like, I was hoping they weren't gonna save her scenes for season 3, but sheesh, like, we're already halfway done. And where the heck is Tommy? Like, come on, we need to see some scenes in Jacksonville. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for my review. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. Take care, guys. Bye.